Richie Sambora is an American rock guitarist, producer, musician, singer and songwriter who is the longtime lead guitarist of the rock band Bon Jovi. He and frontman Jon Bon Jovi form the primary songwriting unit of the band. He has also released 3 solo albums, Stranger in This Town in 1991, Undiscovered Soul in 1998, and his third, Aftermath of the Lowdown, was released in September 2012. Early life. Sambora was born in Perthamboy, New Jersey, the son of Joan, a secretary, and Adam C. Sambora, a factory foreman. He is of Polish descent and was raised Catholic. He grew up in Woodbridge Township, New Jersey and attended Woodbridge High School there, graduating in 1977. He played basketball in high school, where as a junior, he helped Woodbridge High win a Group 4 state title. His first instrument was the accordion, which he began to play at the age of 6. He began playing the guitar at the age of 12 following the death of guitar legend Jimi Hendrix in 1970. From his early days, Sambora was strongly influenced by blues and 60s rock and roll. His most important influences were the Beatles, Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, Jeff Beck, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Johnny Winter, Jimmy Page, Joe Perry, George Harrison, and B.B. King. He was also influenced by Spanish classical music and began a lifelong love of the Spanish guitar. Furthermore, he had stated that psychedelic soul singer Janis Joplin had a big influence on his musical style during her career in the late 60s and early 70s. Classical music directly inspired several of his songs, such as The Answer, which was originally written on piano. He also plays many other instruments, such as drums, bass, saxophone, piano, etc. The first time he performed on stage was at a CYO dance when he was a tween. He has said that he is color-blind to red, brown and green. Career. He was a guitarist for the band Message, and with that band he gave out an independent record, which was re-released in 1995 under the name Message, and in 2000 under the name Lessons. He was also in a band called Mercy that was signed to Led Zeppelin-owned record label Swan Song Records. Furthermore, he was in a band called Duke Williams and the Extremes, who were signed to Capricorn Records. Sambora was also in an improvisational club band simply called Richie Sambora and Friends. He was also part owner of a club in New Jersey and owned his own independent label Dream Disc Records at the age of 19. His first professional tour was as an opening act for Joe Cocker in the early 80s. Shortly before joining Bon Jovi in 1983, he auditioned for Kiss. Bon Jovi added Sambora to replace original lead guitarist Dave Sabo. Sambora went to a show and, after being impressed by Bon Jovi, approached him and informed him that he thought they should work together. They immediately hit it off as friends, and Sambora was invited to a rehearsal. By the time Bon Jovi arrived, the band was sounding better than ever and Sambora was hired on the spot. Sambora has occasionally taken over as lead vocalist on some Bon Jovi songs, most notably I'll Be There For You, and These Days, when played live on the Bounce, Have a Nice Day and Lost Highway tours, while on the Circle tour he performed Lay Your Hands on Me, and Homebound Train. He has also performed his solo hit, Stranger in This Town during live performances. One of the live performances of Stranger in This Town, recorded during the Keep the Faith tour, was released on Bon Jovi's CD single Dry County in 1994. Recent ventures have seen him compose television theme songs for both Entertainment Tonight and The Insider. He is part of the ownership group of the Philadelphia Soul, an Arena Football League football team. Sambora made a cameo appearance in The Sims Superstar. Sambora is featured on the track Baby Rock remix from LL Cool J's 2008 album Exit 13. His first solo outing was Stranger in This Town in 1991, a blues-influenced album that was received well by many critics although commercially a relative flop partially due to the more adult tone of the record that was not instantly appealing to Bon Jovi fans. Eric Clapton played the lead guitar track on the song Mr. Bluesman, backed by Sambora on acoustic guitars. He did a short U.S. tour in support of the album, featuring Tony Levin, Dave Amato, Crystal Talifero and Bon Jovi bandmates Tico Torres and Dave Bryan. Ballad of Youth was released in the UK in summer 1991, and despite plugs from the Friday rock show on BBC Radio 1, the song barely skimmed the top 75. Undiscovered Soul was Sambora's second solo album, released in 1998. The album was produced by Don Was. In support of Undiscovered Soul, Sambora toured Japan, Australia and Europe in the summer of 1998. The band featured Richie Sambora, Ron Wixo, Kazem Sultan, Tommy Mandel, Everett Bradley, Jaya Bruno and Crystal Taliaferro. He made a special guest appearance on Bo Diddley's 1996 album A Man Amongst Men, playing guitar on the tracks Can I Walk You Home, and Oops. Bo Diddley. In 1999, Sambora appeared as a guest vocalist on the Stuart Smith album Stuart Smith's Heaven and Earth, performing a cover of the Deep Purple song, When a Blind Man Cries. Also in 1999, Sambora played the guitar solo on the track, Why Didn't You Love Me on the album Tuesday's Child by Canadian singer Amanda Marshall. Sambora also played on an album called Lessons from a band called Message. The album was recorded in the early 1980s. Sambora sings Long Way Around during the final scene in the 1997 Steven Seagal action film Fire Down Below and is featured on the film's soundtrack. Sambora also recorded the song One Last Goodbye on the soundtrack for the movie The Banger Sisters. He also covered Jimi Hendrix's The Wind Cries Mary for the soundtrack of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, released in 1990. His guitar work is also featured on the track Misery on Pink's 2001 album Misunderstood with Steven Tyler. In 2004, Sanctuary Records released a self-titled album which had been recorded in 1978 by Shark Frenzy, documenting Sambora's first recorded material. The mixtapes had been damaged in a flood and it had taken band member Bruce Foster to remaster them for them to be released so many years later. Sambora co-wrote several tracks and played guitar on Australian rock pop artist Shannon Knoll's third album, called Turn It Up. It was released in Australia September 15, 2007. 14 years after his previous solo album, Sambora announced via his Twitter page that recording had been completed and that he was hoping the album would be released in July 2012. Photographs were published of Sambora working in a recording studio. The new album was produced by Luke Ebben, who produced Bon Jovi's Crush and Bounce albums. Aftermath of the Lowdown was released in September 2012. Sambora performed as the house band on The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson on CBS for 1 week. Several guests sang along with the band over the week, including Craig Ferguson, Dennis Leary, Eddie Izzard and even Larry King sang the Late Late Show theme song. Instruments and equipment. Sambora has been known to use a wide variety of equipment throughout his career. He has an extensive guitar collection, featuring more than 120 instruments. Check out www.richiesamboraguitars.com. 1980s. In the 80s, Sambora mostly played Kramer, Jackson, Charvel and Hammer Superstrats as well as modified and custom Les Paul models, such as his Rod Sherpa model. In early mid-1987, Kramer put out a Richie Sambora signature model with 3 humbuckers, pointy drooped headstock, gold hardware, star-shaped fingerboard inlays and a Floyd Rose original locking tremolo, which quit production in 1989. Today it has been reissued by Music Yo! And is named Jersey Star, no longer carrying Sambora's actual name. He had also used several other Kramer models, including a variety of custom ones. His 2 most notable guitars from the Slippery When Wet album tour were his Kramer Richie Sambora signature and a custom white Jackson with gold hardware and a Floyd Rose tremolo, HSS pickup configuration and a reversed Strat-like headstock and a star on the body and headstock. There is also another of his very famous guitars from Kramer, which is a Jersey Star signature double neck used on Lay Your Hands on Me. During the following years Sambora played various guitars, most notably a custom Black Jackson, which featured only a single humbucking pickup in the bridge position, Floyd Rose tremolo system and a maple neck and fretboard with a reversed Strat-like headstock, along with vintage Fenders and Gibsons. In 1982 Richie Sambora auditioned for Kiss as Ace Frehley's replacement. 1990s. In 1991, Fender issued a Richie Sambora signature Stratocaster model which featured an original Floyd Rose tremolo system and an HSS combination of DiMarzio PAF Pro humbucking and two Fender Texas Special single-coil pickups. This guitar came in two versions: American and later in 1996, Japanese. US-made Sambora model featured an order body with ash veneers and was available in cherry sunburst and Olympic white, while the Japanese version had an alder body with black paisley graphics, limited, snow white or cherry red sunburst finish available. Other features included a one-piece maple neck fingerboard with 22 frets and star-shaped position markers, as well as a 25 dB active mid-boost circuit with TBX tone controls and an active-passive push-button switch. In the 1995 video Live from London, Sambora uses a custom orange burst double-neck Fender Stratocaster featuring a traditional maple neck with star inlays and a locking tremolo. He uses this guitar on the song Lay Your Hands on Me on the London DVD. There was also a Mexican-made standard version of the instrument, featuring a DiMarzio PAF humbucking pickup in the bridge position and two standard single coils in the neck and middle positions. The guitar also sported a rosewood fingerboard with 21 frets and white dot inlays, as well as a Floyd Rose 2 locking bridge. Both the US and Mexican-made Sambora models were discontinued in 2002, though now there is a Fender Standard Series Stratocaster HSS locking tremolo with about the same specs as Sambora's own guitar, but it's only available through Guitar Center. Sambora has used Ovation acoustic electric guitars from the early 1980s until today. He played a custom-made double neck designed by his longtime guitar technician Gary Gaz Douglas, which is featured on many unplugged versions of Bon Jovi songs such as Wanted Dead or Alive, and a variety of other Ovations, such as the Adema's hybrid wood graphite model. 2000 Euro present. In 2000, Taylor started the production of a Richie Sambora signature model, a 6-string acoustic made of co-wood, called the RSSM. Only 100 were made all in the year of 2000. All of his double-neck acoustics feature a 6-string neck on top and a 12-string neck on bottom, opposite of the normal manufacturing standard. Since Sambora has been known to use his favorite Martin acoustic, among others, on a lot of recordings, Martin Guitars put out two of Sambora's signature models in 2006, a 6-string and a 12 strings, based on his mentioned favorite 1930 Martin OM45. He has also been seen using a Yamaha double-neck acoustic at specific live shows. He still plays a variety of Fenders, apparently over 40 Stratocasters, such as the Telecaster double neck used on Have a Nice Day. Sambora also has a 59 ash body Telecaster used for These Days, and Someday I'll Be Saturday Night. From 2003 to Euro 2006, he played a wide variety guitars on stage, including custom Sambora guitars built by his guitar tech Chris Lumpy Hofschneider, Z Midas guitars, Floyd Rose guitars, Ovation, Taylor and Martin guitars, vintage and custom shop Gibson and Fender models, as well as guitars from his collection. One of the guitars built by his guitar tech features a fretboard made of both maple and rosewood, on an ash body with neck-through body construction and a custom humbucking single pickup layout. Currently, he mostly plays the custom black Sambora guitar, different models of Gibson Les Pauls and Fender Telecasters and Stratocasters. On October 10, 2012, when he was about to play his second gig of the aftermath of the Lowdown tour in Amsterdam, Richie got a custom Italian guitar handcrafted by Fabrizio Paletti as a tribute to his music. Bon Jovi Club Italy organized the delivery. He loved so much the guitar that he played Stranger in Town with it, the same night. From that day, the Paletti Wine Stratospheric has become a permanent instrument in his live guitar Rex and was used on the Because We Can tour as well. Sambora also used Gibson and Guild acoustics, particularly a Guild F50 12-string, which he used on the song Wanted Dead or Alive. He acquired this guitar directly from the Guild factory due to it having a finish flaw. For most of the 80s and early mid-90s, he used Marshall amplifiers, particularly the JCM 800 models with 4x12 speaker cabinets and a variety of rack and pedal units. During his Stranger in This Town tour, Sambora used two Marshall JCM 822-03 heads and a Fender Imp head, with three 4x12 Marshall cabinets. In 1995, Sambora started using Fender Tone Masters with Fender Tone Master 4x12 speaker cabinets, following the These Days tour. On tour, he used up to 12 cabinets on stage. For the studio sessions of his second solo album, Undiscovered Soul, he also used a Fender Bassman 4x10 combo and a Vox AC30. On the tour, he used Fender Tone Masters, a Marshall Imp head, a Vox Imp head and a VHT Pitbull in combination with Fender Tone Master 4x12, and 2x12 speaker cabinets. In 2000, Sambora started using the Marshall JCM 2000 DSL series. The song It's My Life was also recorded with a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. He has also used the Marshall DSL series on the Bounce tour, as well as a Hughes and Kettner amp, occasionally. During their Have a Nice Day tour, Sambora used diesel and divided by 13 amplification and custom-made 4x12 speaker cabinets. During the studio recording sessions of the Lost Highway album, he used Matchless, Bonner Ecstasy and Diesel Herbert amps. In 2007, he started appearing on stage with two half stacks, again featuring Marshall JCM 2000 DSL amplifiers and custom-made 4x12 cabinets. In late 2007, Sambora became an endorsee of the ESP Guitar Company, and a new Richie Sambora signature model, the Limited SA2, was debuted at the 2008 Winter NAMM show. According to Young Guitar, Richie Sambora used an AB box, Frampton Talkbox, Jimi Hendrix Dunlop wah, Keeley SD1, Stock SD1, Roger Mayer Octavia, Boss CH1, EHX Electric Mistress Deluxe. He also uses a MIDI rig. Sambora is endorsed by Didgeridoo and uses Didgeridoo strings on all of his guitars. He uses a variety of sets for different tunings, including EXL 110, EXL 115, EPS 540, EXP 15, and EXP 38. Now, from 2010/2011, Sambora is using a rack system. Some effects the rack includes are Furman Power Conditioner, Lexicon and Eventide rack effects. Some of the pedals that Sambora is using on the Circle Tour are Boss OD1, Hermidon Audio Zen Drive, Tone Freak Effects Naked OD and Abun I2, Clan Centaur, Analog Man Octron, EHX Micro POG, Tone Freak Effects Melotremo, BBE Soul Vibe, Retrosonic Chorus, MXR EVH Flanger, MXR Phase 90, Maxon Auto Filter, EHX Deluxe Memory Man. These effects are all run by a MIDI controller. The effects he has running from his guitar to his amp are Boss TU2 Chromatic Tuner, Molon Wah, and an Ernie Ball volume pedal. Sambora professes that he still takes guitar lessons to improve his skills and is being taught how to play fingerstyle by Lawrence Juba, after meeting him in a guitar store and thinking it was two guitarists playing from a distance. They later performed together and with Tommy Emmanuel, recording an acoustic version of Livin' on a Prayer. Among of Sambora's current touring guitars are 1961 three-tone Sunburst Fender Stratocaster called Beta, one of his 1959 Gibson Les Paul Sunbursts, 1957 Gibson Les Paul Gold-Up called Goldie, another Gibson Les Paul which was refinished to 1959 specifications, 1953 Fender Telecaster signed by Keith Richards, Gibson Flying V, 1954 Gibson Les Paul Jr., 1959 Gibson ES335 in natural finish with dots inlays called Alvin, PRS Custom 24, Relic three-tone Sunburst Fender Custom Shop Stratocaster with HSS pickup configuration, Floyd. Rose Tremolo and Black Pickard, loosely modeled after Stevie Ray Vaughan's No. 1 Stratocaster, Old Black Charvel Jackson Superstrat with one humbucker, Floyd Rose and a maple neck with reverse headstock, brand new Rockbridge Acoustic 6/12 and his Taylor Acoustic 6/12 double neck. Sambora is currently not on tour with Bon Jovi, having left due to personal issues, although he is on tour as a solo artist. He is rumored to be rejoining the band next autumn to record their new album, due for release in 2016. On June 29, 2014, Sambora made a special unannounced appearance on stage with Dolly Parton during her encore at the Glastonbury Music Festival in the UK. Public service and recognition. Over the years, Sambora has been an ardent fundraiser for many charities, such as Dream Street, the Steve Young Forever Young Foundation and Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's disease charity. He has donated money privately to various cancer charities since the death of his father, including both hospitals where his father was treated, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and MD Anderson. Sambora's fundraising with the charity Stand Up for a Cure allowed for 3 mobile full-service hospital units to be brought to the streets of New York, 2 of which were named after his parents, respectively. In May 2004, Sambora was bestowed with an honorary doctorate of letters by Kean University where he attended the awards ceremony and gave a speech of acceptance. He attended Kean University as a freshman, but then dropped out to pursue a career as a professional guitarist and session musician. Sambora and Jon Bon Jovi were inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame on June 18, 2009. On November 24, 2009, Sambora launched a charitable effort You Can Go Home in his hometown of Woodbridge Township, New Jersey, which unveiled a street renamed Richie Sambora Way. He also donated funds to renovate part of his alma mater Woodbridge High School, which opened a new weight room, the Adams Sambora Fitness Center, dedicated to Sambora's father. On May 7, 2012, Sambora was recognized by the Midnight Mission charity for his work, dedication, and support to their cause, with the Golden Heart Award. Personal life. Sambora married actress Heather Locklear in Paris on December 17, 1994. Daughter Ava Elizabeth Sambora was born in 1997. Locklear filed for divorce in February 2006 citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce was finalized on April 11, 2007. Just 9 days later, on April 20, Sambora's father Adam died of lung cancer. Sambora resides in Los Angeles and owns a beach house in Laguna Beach as well as other properties. From 1987 to 1988, he dated model actress Stacey Alden. The Bon Jovi songs Bad Medicine and I'll Be There For You were written about this relationship. In 1988, Sambora dated Brat Pack actress Ali Sheedy. Their relationship only lasted 9 months. From 1989 to 1992, he dated entertainer-actress Cher, for whom he has also written and produced songs. After Heather Locklear filed for divorce in February 2006, Sambora began to date actress Denise Richards. Their relationship lasted a year. However, they rekindled their romance in 2011. They broke up again in 2012. Richie is now dating ex-Michael Jackson and Alice Cooper guitarist, and successful solo artist Orianthi. Substance problems. On June 7, 2007, it was announced that Sambora was entering an undisclosed rehab facility in Los Angeles for treatment related to alcoholism. Following his release, he told an interviewer, "I was just drinking too much and I needed to get my life together. I'm still in therapy and stuff like that, but it's good. I'm great. I feel fine." In the Bon Jovi documentary, When We Were Beautiful, Sambora talks candidly about his addiction to painkillers following a slip in his bathroom. He credited his bandmates and mother with helping him through the difficult time. On April 28, 2011, it was announced that Sambora had made the decision to enter rehab again. Sambora was absent from the band for 13 shows during the Bon Jovi Live Tour, and Sambora's guitar and vocal duties were handled by well-known session musician Philip Xenidis during those shows. This is Sambora's second stint in rehab and was announced just a week after he finished probation for drunk driving charges. Sambora returned to join the band in June 2011 in Zagreb, Croatia for the start of the European leg of the tour. Legal issues. On March 26, 2008, Sambora was arrested for drunk driving in Laguna Beach, California. At the time, his 10-year-old daughter and her friend were both in his Hummer. He was pulled over at 10:52 p.m. after an officer noticed his car weaving on the road, but was quiet and cooperative and didn't cause any problems. At his May 2008 arraignment, He pled no contest to driving with a blood alcohol level of .08 or higher, was fined $390, placed on probation for 3 years, and was required to attend a driver's education course. Discography, studio albums, solo singles, other album appearances, with Shark Frenzy, with Message, Lestins, Message Live, with Share, with Desmond Child, Discipline, with Bon Jovi. References